Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Soviet Tech Tree Tier 5 medium tank, the T-34. Now the T-34 is obviously a tank that you will be going through to get to quite a few tanks, because obviously from the T-34 you can get to the MT-25, which goes up the Russian heavy tanks? No, the Russian light tank line. You can get to the T-34-85, which pushes up the Russian medium tank line, up to the T-62A and the 140. You can also unlock the A-43 from it, which then goes to the Object 416, well, to the A-44, 416, 430 version 2, and tanks like the K-91, the Object 430, and the Object 430U. And from the A43, you can also go to the KV-13, which then goes to the ISM, the 705, and the 705A. So you can see the possibilities from just this one little tank is a lot of different lines. You can unlock a lot of different lines from this little T-34, and it has two different guns that you can use. There's this 57mm gun that you are seeing in this first replay, and the 76mm gun that you are going to see in the next replay, which got buffed quite a lot, which means it's not actually that bad anymore, because it used to be that the 76mm was sort of, it was okay, but this gun here was phenomenal and the best gun for the tank. But like I say, with the changes to, or I think even they added that gun. With that gun being a thing, it's no longer the sort of you just pick the 57mm and have a great time. You've got a choice of what you want to pick. So I thought, hey, why not show off both? So yeah, this 57mm gun that the tank has is very, very nice. You've got 112 pen on the standard AP, with 189 penetration on the APCR rounds that the tank gets, which actually have pretty damn nice velocity as well, because you've got 990 meters a second velocity on the AP, but nearly 1250 on the premium rounds, which is really, really nice for this tier, and it means that you can get some good rounds out at distance. The other thing that's phenomenal about this gun is the fact that the rate of fire is insane. You get 8 degrees of gun depression as well, which is very, very nice. And you can use ridge lines in the T-34 really, really easily. But the rate of fire on this tank is absolutely nutty, as you're seeing. It puts out damage so fast that, yeah, it's mental how quick this thing fires. And it's a massive asset for the tank, as you are seeing right here. And it's not as derpy with this gun as the 76mm is as well, which is a thing that goes for it in terms of the accuracy, because the base accuracy of the tank is 0.34, which is very, very, very nice for a Soviet tank. Obviously, with the 76mm being a lot derpier. So what do I run in terms of a crew on the T-34? Well, I run this crew on both guns, essentially. And that is that I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Camouflage Expertise, Silent Driving, Steady Aim, Snapshot, and Run and Gun. I run the 3 gun perks because I want to make this gun as good as it can be. And I run the Camouflage Expertise to make my camo better, because I'm a medium tank, and the Silent Driving to make sure that my camo is better while I'm on the move. Now, I like having the camo pretty damn good on the T-34, because it means that I can sit and farm a lot easier without getting spotted. And because you don't really have that much armor in the T-34, it means that I'm not getting shot at quite as much. And at this kind of level as well, this kind of tier, the camo that you get, if you get it dead good, like I've got it down to 266 meters of steel concealment, which is really, really nice. That's at this sort of tier, the view ranges that a lot of tanks have is not that much, so you can stay unspotted in so many situations with that kind of camo. That's why I set it up like that. And in terms of equipment, I run the advanced loader, the optics, and the camo net. Camo net again to make the camo better, the advanced loader to make the DPM just even more nutty, getting down to 1.9 second reload, and the optics, sorry, to be able to spot for myself, because I get it up to 448 meters of view range in this tank, which means I can at least spot for myself, which is very, very nice. So as you can see in this first replay, I am up to 421 assistance with 1900 damage, with 4 kills as well, and we were just waiting for the artillery to fire before we pulled out, so that we basically didn't get blapped. The other thing about the T-34, by the way, is the skin that you're seeing right here. It does have a special skin, and it's because it's an old iconic tank. It looks really cool with this skin, and this is one that you can purchase. I'm not quite sure on the price of the skin, though. I think it is pretty pricey, so I only really get it if you like the T-34, but it's a pretty damn nice skin that makes it look really cool. But, okay, we're finally there. We've got to the artillery. We're now farming shots into the artillery. We get 2 shots into him, and unfortunately we couldn't quite get the kill. But now we've got a T1 Heavy who manages to get a shot into us. We damage his ammo rack, which means that he's not going to be able to get the shots in as quickly, but he can kill us with his shot that he's got left if we're not careful now, because we are down to a 1 shot into him. We're trying to get some shots into the Gorilla, but it's not quite working. We've only got APCR left, which means we can quite easily go through the front of the T1 Heavy. This is the advantage of the 57mm as opposed to the 76, by the way, is the fact that the penetration on the premium rounds is really, really damn nice. And if you get those tier 7 games, the premium rounds can go through a lot of the tier 7s you're going to face, whereas the 76mm is not going to be quite as easy to deal with those bottom tier matchups. There's only 1 tank left on the enemy team. We're on 5 kills. I want the top gun if I can get there. That Gorilla's run towards the friendly light tank, and unfortunately before we get there to try and get the top gun, the artillery slams the shot in to shut down the artillery. And we finished the game with 5 kills, 2.5k damage, 421 assistance, the ace tanker, the high caliber, the 1851 base XP. Really nice game for the T-34 there with the 57mm, which is an absolutely solid choice to pick for the tank's guns. It is a very, very nice gun, and that DPM is absolutely insane. But now you're on to the second replay, and the second replay we are using the 76mm gun. Now with the 76mm gun, instead of having really fast rate of fire, although you still have a pretty quick rate of fire if we're honest, you have, and you've got slightly higher alpha, so the 57mm had 85 damage on its round. Now you've got 115. So your reload is slower, but your damage has got a little bit higher, which can make it quite nice for at times shooting tanks and just doing that little bit of extra damage on top, you know, packing a punch a little bit more than the 57mm. But again, the difference in the damage isn't that much to lose out on a fair bit of the rate of fire, plus the accuracy and the shell velocity, stuff like that, because this gun can be a little bit derpy at times, because you do have 0.41 accuracy, which is really not that nice, and it does like to miss a fair few of the shots. You've got 2.3 second aim time as well, which is actually the same as the 57mm, but like I say, instead of a base 2.6 second reload, you've got a 4.5 second reload now, which can get down to a decent reload time, as you're seeing right now with the tank at, what was it, 3 seconds, something like that. You also have on your shell velocity only 816 meters a second shell velocity on the AP rounds, and on the APCR 1020, which is a fair bit slower than the 57mm as well. So just something to bear in mind, that this gun fires a little bit slower. It does pack a bit more of a punch, but it's fairly negligible, but it is also derpier. But you do still get the same gun depression at 8 degrees, which never used to be a thing. I'm pretty sure it used to have 5, so it's definitely still okay to use in terms of that. So this second game, like I say, we're using the 76mm gun, and we want to try and push the tempo. We've got this deadbolt in front of us, so we poke over, get the shot into the side of the deadbolt, and like I say, we may not have the blistering rate of fire that that 57mm has, but we're still reloading 3.2 seconds, which is still pretty damn quick. So we go for the shot into the side of the deadbolt there, and unfortunately we do take a hit off him, but we do get to shut him down. Now we're going to try and get into position to shoot the KV-1 and this light tank in the side if we can from this ridgeline. And that would be great if we could just try and catch a shot into him, but unfortunately we couldn't quite get there to get the shot in. We end up spotting a Stewig 33B from the back as well. The VK3001H is in a position where we can get shots into his side, so we go for the side shots here, get the shot into his drive wheel, and unfortunately this is where the gun can be a pain with the derpiness. We're just missing the shots. We do manage to get the shot into his drive wheel there though, but it goes low and wide again, which means we don't pen it. We pen it and keep it trapped that time. We may as well keep firing here though to keep him pinned. We do manage to set this VK on fire. It ricochets as well. We go for the kill shot, hoping we roll for our main average there. We didn't quite get to roll high enough to kill it, but we shut down the VK3001H. And that, in a nutshell, is where this gun is a lot more annoying than the 57mm is. This gun is so derpy at times. You have to be very, very careful with it when you're firing at distance, because it will miss a fair few shots, and when you're firing the standard AP as well, it can be a pain firing at tanks like this KV-1. But yeah, I'll say, I do think this gun isn't that bad anymore. I still think it's a pretty decently valid choice, but I do think the 57mm is the one to pick, just because of the penetration, just because of the accuracy, and that phenomenal rate of fire. The one thing that you do have over the 57mm, though, is shots like what you got at that VK3001H, where you're more likely to blow off the tracks in 1 or 2 shots, as opposed to the 57mm, where it takes a fair few to take people's tracks off in one go. And obviously you're doing a little bit more module damage, because you're doing higher alpha, and you've got the higher caliber as well. So far, we're up to 1,760 damage with 134 assistance, and we're just going to go try and help this Super Chaffee out, who is currently being chased by 3 tanks. So we get over, get a shot into the T-34. We just got to keep moving because we're detected, which I'm assuming is from behind. We don't want to take that hit if we can help it. The T-34 drives into a position we can get a shot into him, but the Super Chaffee, well, he really did not need our help whatsoever. And he managed to shut down both the T-34 and the T-21 as well. Something is trying to get shots at us from across the way. So what I'm going to try and do is get to the ridge line in front of me so that I can try and spot them. And in fact, the KV-85 ends up getting spotted anyway. So we get a shot at his upper plate. He is looking, though. He knows where we are. So we don't want to sit still, because otherwise we will get blind fired. We do try and get another shot into his lower plate, but it hits his upper plate. He's suffering from gun depression issues, because that's what the KV-85 does generally. We ricochet off the underside of his tank, just going for that lower plate shot again, but he again is in a position to get a shot at us. He blind fires, ends up missing, and that's the one thing. Obviously, this guy can see us. He can see where we're shooting from. And he was looking directly towards us. There's no point sitting still. You may as well fire and not take the chance that he's going to hit us, and that's what we did. Now we've got the Steering 33B. We're just trying to pop the shots into that guy. We end up taking his tracks off, but he gets shut down by the Gorilla. There's only 1 tank left on the enemy team. It is a light tank, which is currently at our artillery at K6, but the M44 actually shotguns that poor BK2801. And finished the game with a really nice total for the T-34, finished with the victory. Top of the team, 2 kills, 2.7, well, nearly 2.8k damage, 1932 base XP. A really nice game for the Tech Tree Tier 5 T-34 there, showing off the capabilities of both guns. The Ace tank of the high caliber, the Confederate medal, and I'll say the 932 base XP. The T-34 is such a solid tank. It looks great in this skin, and you've got the choice of 2 pretty good guns. I'd probably go with the 57mm, but it's just down to you and how you feel like playing the tank. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!